because it's a very small presence in the States, but it's an enormous one in my own country, is to help Islam evolve in a way that is, how shall I put it, healthy. If we can do that, we will offer a tremendous, vast service. If we regard them as the enemy, then that's what they'll become.
Thank you, Father Radcliffe. My name is Kathy O'Connor. I had one question. Thank you very much for using the word Christianity instead of Catholicism. I felt that you were linking us with all other Christians. I work with college-age students, and I would like some suggestions. You didn't talk much about avoiding assimilation and how to help them to see the difference between increasing the conversation but avoiding assimilation.
Thank you. I did talk about, in a way, both Catholicism and Christianity, and it's partly because I'm delighted and happy to be a Catholic, but I'm also very involved in ecumenical dialogue. I had the tremendous blessing of being present for the whole of the Lambeth Conference of the Anglican Communion last year, and have many close friends, particularly in the Church of England. I'm actually a canon of an Anglican cathedral, believe it or not. It gave my brethren great amusement to talk about my canonization. I think that it touches again the earlier question. I think it's terribly important. I mean, I have very little experience of working with kids pre-university. Believe it or not, I was one once myself, but all my ministry has been with university people, university students, and afterwards. So to be honest, I'm terribly ignorant about this. I'm not quite sure what to say. But when I see my nephews and my nieces, I do find that they will engage passionately in quite unexpected theological issues if you give them half a chance. When I was based in Rome, with, as Dan said, the grand title of Master General, I used to exchange emails with my 16-year-old niece when she was writing her essays, theology essays. In fact, I always suspect that large parts of my emails were incorporated into her essays. And even at the age of 16, she got so fascinated that she actually applied to read theology and philosophy at university. And therefore, I think what a very delicate task, I don't know the answer, you probably know the answer better than I would, is to some extent we need to enculturate our faith in the language that people use. We have to learn to use their words. At the same time, we are the inheritors of an incredibly rich language, a language of poetry, and a language of religious spirituality for centuries. I remember meeting a group of university kids in Amsterdam, Holland, and they said, I said, why did you come here? And they said, we've discovered words we never knew, like holy and glory and gratitude. And so I think there's actually quite an interesting and complex dynamic here, and any of you who are parents and teachers would understand it better than I do, about how we both share our faith in the language of those kids, but also try to share with them the theologically dense and rich language of our inheritance. Just as if people learn Shakespeare, You don't want to translate Shakespeare entirely into contemporary terms. You have to let them discover the richness and the subtlety of his vocabulary. I think this is going to be a tough one.
Thank you. I'm Matt, and I'm visiting my grandparents from Pennsylvania. Do you think it's beneficial or non-beneficial for the Catholic Church to make Notre Dame not Catholic anymore?
Thank you, Matt. Thank you, Matt. And I said it would be a difficult one. My own belief is that it's very important that Notre Dame continues to be recognized as Catholic. Because to be Catholic, as you know, the original meaning of the word Catholic is universal. That implies largeness. You can't have a narrow Catholic identity. It's a contradiction in terms. It makes no sense. And I think that Catholic universities should be places where we're able to engage with people who often have different views from ourselves. If you look at, we had this Dominican theologian called Thomas Aquinas in the 13th century, and he wrote the Summa, which is, as everybody in this room would agree, the greatest work of theology ever. I hear no dissent. In the first chapter, he quotes a pagan, a Jew, and a Muslim. Because he was prepared to learn from anyone. He was prepared to learn even from people with whom he disagreed. Even the people you disagree with have something to teach you. So I think Notre Dame is actually doing something good and Catholic in inviting the president to come along, to engage in conversation with him, to recognize his great abilities, even if there may be areas of disagreement. Thank you.
Just want to thank Father Radcliffe for coming tonight. And we're going to get him back to Boston at a decent hour so he can do something with all those Jesuits up there tomorrow. Thanks a lot for coming.